After the officer involved was acquitted of second-degree murder charges, officials in Arizona released graphic video showing Daniel Shaver crawling on his hands and knees and begging for his life in the moments before he was shot and killed by police in January 2016. Shaver was one of at least 963 fatal police shootings in 2016, according to a Washington Post database. And Shaver's death was one of an increasing number of fatal police shootings to prompt criminal charges in the years since the 2014 protests in Ferguson, MO. Following the death of Michael Brown. Yet charges remain rare, and convictions even more so. The Washington Post's 2017 Fatal Police Shooting Database. The shooting, by then Mesa Police Department officer Philip Mitch Brailsford, occurred after officers responded to a call about a man allegedly pointing a rifle out of a fifth-floor window at a La Quinta Inn. Inside the room, Shaver, 26, had been doing rum shots with a woman he'd met earlier that day and showing off a pellet gun he used for his job in pest control. The graphic video, recorded by Brailsford's body camera, shows Shaver and the woman exiting the hotel room and immediately complying with the officer's demand that they lay down on the ground. Shaver immediately puts his hands in the air and lays down on the ground while informing the officer that no one else was in the hotel room. If you make a mistake, another mistake, there is a very severe possibility that you're both going to get shot. Do you understand? Brailsford said, before telling Shaver to shut up. I'm not here to be tactical and diplomatic with you. You listen, you obey, Brailsford says. For the next 5 minutes, Brailsford gives Shaver a series of instructions. First, the officer demands that Shaver put both of his hands on top of his head. Next, he instructs him to cross his left foot over his right foot. If you move, we are going to consider that a threat and we are going to deal with it and you may not survive it, Brailsford said. The officer then had the woman crawl down the hallway where she was taken into custody. Shaver remained on the ground in the hallway, his hands on his head. The officer tells Shaver to keep his legs crossed and push himself up into a kneeling position. As Shaver pushes himself up, his legs come uncrossed, prompting the officer to scream at him. I'm sorry, Shaver says, placing his hands near his waist, prompting another round of screaming. You do that again, we're shooting you, do you understand? Brailsford yells. Please do not shoot me, Shaver begs, his hands up straight in the air. At the officer's command, Shaver then crawls down the hallway sobbing. At one point, he reaches back possibly to pull up his shorts and Brailsford opens fire, striking Shaver 5 times. Fatal shootings by police are up in the first 6 months of 2016, post-analysis finds. According to the police report, Brailsford was carrying an AR-15 rifle, with the phrase "You're F-ked" etched into the weapon. The police report also said the shots were fired so rapidly that in watching the video at regular speed, one cannot count them. Brailsford testified in court that he believed Shaver was reaching for a gun.